For nearly 3 decades, the WNBA was basketball's easiest punchline. Half-empty parades, plastic-looking MVP trophies, late-night TV slots nobody watched. Then, Caitlin Clark laced up for the Indiana Fever, and those same arenas turned into roaring sellouts. In her first month, Fever attendance soared past 116,000 fans, more than the previous 2 seasons combined, with Gainbridge Fieldhouse exceeding 17,000 4 separate times. So why, just as the turnstiles finally spin like slot machines, does the very league Clark is rescuing seem determined to shove her back into the shadows? That's the mystery we're about to untangle. Buckle up. Every chapter peels away another layer, and the last one may decide the WNBA's future. The WNBA has never hidden its balance sheet bruises. Throughout the mid-2000s, the NBA reportedly poured more than $10 million a year into its sister league just to keep the lights on, with cumulative operating losses pushing past $250 million by 2018. Sponsors came and went, television slots drifted to late night, and casual fans treated the league like background noise. That vacuum of relevance bred an undercurrent of resentment. Players working second jobs overseas, social media trolls joking that concession staff out-earned rookies. The stage was set for a hero and a backlash. Next up, the Cyclone from Iowa who rewrote every record before she ever banked a WNBA paycheck.
Caitlin Clark did not tiptoe into the pros. She crash-landed. Iowa's flamethrower shattered the NCAA career scoring mark, led the nation in assists twice, and rained logo-range triples on primetime TV, drawing comparisons to Steph Curry and the gunslinging Pistol Pete. Before she'd even unpacked her Fever locker, Nike backed an 8-year, $28 million signature shoe pact, the richest deal in women's basketball history. Clark's college farewell tour outrated NHL games and crept into NBA Finals chatter. Hype this deafening should have been pure jet fuel for a league starving for attention, unless envy turns the flame into a blowtorch. But how warm is the welcome inside those locker room walls? Let's rewind to the whispers that warned us. Back in 2017, 4-time WNBA champion Candace Wiggins dropped a grenade. She claimed the league's culture was toxic, riddled with bullying and passive-aggressive cliques that drove her into early retirement. Teammates waved it off as an isolated gripe, until Clark arrived, and the old scars reopened. Veterans grumbled that overnight fame felt unearned. Anonymous podcast voices mocked her green light. Meanwhile, players who once begged for more eyeballs suddenly recoiled from the glare when it centered on someone else. And the loudest voices? They wore Hall of Fame rings. Diana Taurasi, universally hailed as the W's GOAT, went viral with a tight-lipped smirk. There are levels to this thing. Reality is coming. She then shrugged at Clark's Olympic snub, reminding reporters she herself had 3 NCAA titles before cracking Team USA at 20. In any other sport, royalty endorses the rising star. Here, the crown felt suddenly heavy. And that posture trickled down. Podcasts laughed that Clark only shoots threes. Panel shows reduced her wizardry to just a green light. Words sting, but elbows bruise, because the chatter soon became contact. June 1, 2024. Chicago Skyguard Kennedy Carter blindsides Clark with a hip check before the Fever even inbound the ball. The league upgrades it to a flagrant 1 a day later. But fines? 0. 2 games later, Clark absorbs a forearm to the chin on a routine drive. A week after that, she's shoved to the floor off the ball while an opponent mouths a censored slur. Internet highlight reels look less like rookie mixtapes and more like NFL blitz packages. Every collision ignites another hashtag and another sold-out road game. Still, one bad landing could snap the golden goose. Yet, paradoxically, the harder she's hit, the higher the league's numbers climb. TV partners can't believe their graphs. ESPN's 2024 postseason averaged 1.1 million viewers, up 139% year over year, the biggest leap in a quarter century. Analysts now track a phenomenon they bluntly call Clarkonomics. Professor Ryan Brewer projects her presence could inject up to $1 billion of economic activity into the WNBA ecosystem by the end of 2025. Merchandise sells out in hours, Fever tickets scalp like mid-season NFL seats, and the franchise's valuation has tripled inside 12 months. Big brand sponsors, once skeptical, are lining up with 7-figure checks. So why would anyone risk vaporizing that jackpot? The answer lives in human nature. Behind closed doors, you'll hear it. Veteran salaries cap at low six figures, while a rookie rakes endorsement money that dwarfs career earnings. Some frame it as jealousy, others as a clash of identities. Clark's straight-laced Iowa persona versus a league proud of its progressive core. Social feeds devolve into tribal skirmishes. Is she privileged or prodigious? Pay equity advocates point out she makes just $76K in WNBA salary, yet her jersey outsells entire teams. The contradiction feels like salt on an open wound, especially for stars who battled for decades with little spotlight. But personal feelings aside, the commissioner has already voted with the league's wallet. In May 2024, Kathy Engelbert announced a $25 million per year charter flight program, killing the long, loathsome commercial travel grind. She openly credited record fandom and revenue momentum, a thinly veiled nod to the Clark effect. Expansion fees in Golden State, Portland, and Toronto promise fresh cash. Two futures loom. Option number one, embrace the phenom. Market her relentlessly, share the rising pie, and watch women's hoops explode worldwide. Option number two, resent the spotlight. Keep up the cheap shots, dim the star, and drift back into meme territory. The ball, ironically, is in the veterans' court now. Clock's ticking, as fast as Clark's release. The moment Caitlin Clark's step-back threes started flooding SportsCenter, the hot take machine hit Redline. One network crowns her the future of basketball. The next segment labels her over-marketed and privileged. Talk show panels dissect her facial expressions. Critics swipe that she's only celebrated because she's white. An entire podcast spring up just to deconstruct her every quote. Scroll the comments and the split is brutal. Half the feed calls her a once-in-a-generation talent. The other half claims the league is rigging coverage to boost ticket sales. Meanwhile, veterans who begged for attention for years now bristle that every highlight package begins and ends with Clark, even when they drop 30. The click-chasing spotlight she dragged into the WNBA has morphed into a strobe, blinding for everyone, but aimed squarely at her. And when the glare gets that intense, backlash finds new ways to hit, sometimes literally. Every time Caitlin Clark rises for a jumper, another collision seems to rise with her. The first to make headlines was Kennedy Carter's shoulder check, an off-ball blow replayed on loop until it eclipsed Clark's own highlights. Since then, the hit count has grown. Forearms at half court, hip checks on simple curls, sly elbows that somehow escape suspension. Clips of the abuse rack up more views than her record-breaking threes, turning each Fever broadcast into a "will they hurt her tonight" cliffhanger. Off the court, the goalposts won't stay still. One week, pundits say she's too young for Team USA. The next, they wave away her league-leading stats with talk of paying dues, a moving ladder whose top rung hovers just beyond her reach. Social feeds weaponize every eye roll, slicing micro-expressions into viral Clark's talkie montages before the full interview has even finished buffering. And when the Olympic roster drops without her name, officially in favor of experience, the narrative that the establishment is freezing out its brightest straw hardens into concrete. Even the whistles feel stacked. Brush her jersey and she's whistled for a touch foul. Hammer her on a layup and play simply continues. Each lopsided call feeds a conspiracy loop too juicy for the comment sections to resist. All this turbulence might crush an ordinary rookie, yet it has done the opposite. Magnified the spotlight and forced an entire league into the uncomfortable question of whether it will ride the phenomenon or let jealousy torch the chance of a lifetime. And that brings us to the moment of truth. A league once mocked for empty seats now turns fans away at the door. Yet the question lingers. Will egos strangle the lifeline they begged for, or will the W finally ride its meteor into a new era? If this breakdown opened your eyes, smash that like button and hit subscribe so you don't miss the next deep dive into the moments shaping basketball history. Your support keeps these stories alive. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.